Well met. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reading through Tower of God 512. Before we get into it though, we have started up a couple of the Twitch streams. So we finished Halo 5 over the last week and we are prepared for Halo Infinite. Uh, but this week we have Endwalker coming out. I'm going to try streaming it when it does release. Still catching up the main story throughout the week in the meantime. Not too much to go. But yeah, should be ready. Very keen for that. I'll probably be streaming sometime over the weekend. So if you're interested, there's a Twitch link in the description down below. So, recap of where we're at and then straight into it. Bam and White finally made their clash, and it's a struggle to absorb each other's power pretty much. So Bam intentionally got hit by White's sword, and then he's now formed all of his power into it and grabbed it in an attempt to begin the absorption. And then we go back to the cat tower. We leave them there. And we see Nanatona still caught by a Sensio spear, actually. He's like pinned into the wall. And Asensio is asking to ally with Khun by order of Master Genie. Not suspicious at all. Um, she's pure chaos right now. Like that's all she wants. But yeah, Asensio tells Khun that he can take the mouse that he had originally caught, and then he's just like, take this now, and I'll tell you what I want you to do later. Again, not sus at all. Khun's waiting for the details of what he needs to do, but Asensio's not telling him, and then he's like, I'll try follow you to the field with this. And Nanotone is still pinned on the wall. So apparently that works. They both make it to the field. And then Kieran immediately puts out his sweet fish to like buff Bam and kind of hinder White at the same time. Even though it's risky, our boy's finally doing something. That's good. That's good. Then we go back to the control tower. Briefly, we see Hockney. Like they've all survived the crab's attack on the platform, and they're all like dangling from fish or sitting on top. If you're Elaine, she's just chilling. Um, but Hockney decides to use an item to get Rak onto the field, so he can use his spear like one time. So he immediately does that, sends Rak to the field, huge glowing light, and then he's got this tower off to the side of where Bam and White are clashing. And then he whips out a carrier that has the ancient spear from the Canine arc. It's about time. We were definitely wondering if he was going to pick it up or not. I'm very glad he has, but it's too heavy for him to carry right now. So he got help from some of the scientists to make him a carrier that he can fit in his pocket, I assume. Um, and yeah, he whips out the spear, and he's got one shot before he goes back inside, I believe. But that is where we left off. All right, it is time. We must get into the chapter. Very keen for Tower of God, of course. Let us begin. 512. After making irreparable mistakes and passing many nights so dark that I couldn't know where I was heading, I barely found the way back with my tired body and faced the sword. It was quiet, as usual, but the waves of Shinsu dashing and breaking up against it were always furious. The white flashback? The waves said to me, just a pure white sword. Oh, son of the sword, poor thing. You tried to reach this sword, but your impatience rather kept you away from it. Oh, you sinned against the world now. As punishment, you will be thirsty for a lifetime and feel empty without being able to fill it. Wow, he just puts it on him like that. Little kid white right there. I didn't care. It didn't matter about being a sinner. I was cursed to feel a painful thirst from birth anyway. However, one thing, the fact that it wasn't the sword, but the waves crashing on it, spoke those words. It wasn't the sword, but the waves crashing on it. Made me terribly sad. I guess that kind of makes sense. I think I know what they're trying to say there. Translation seems a little iffy, but we're good. Here we go. It was still dawn, inconvenient to use, so I couldn't take it Oh wait, it was still damn inconvenient to use, so I couldn't take it out of the carrier. Sorry, we're back to Rak now. So he's standing next to the carrier, but this is the right moment. So his normal spear is fading away in his hands, probably going back to his inventory, and then the carrier just opens with it right there. Oh, he grabs it from where it's being held, pointing up in the air. It's actually like twice his size. It'll pierce through everything. That's the last panel of the previous chapter. I wonder if we're going to see uncompressed Rak, like normal size. Okay. And then, yeah, titles 52nd Floor, A Dark Twist, Part 14. Nice. Rak's holding it above his head, kind of like a javelin, of course. And then it's a bit wobbly, so it's heavy for him, of course. It looks like it got bigger or Rak got smaller. Either or. Wobbling around, swaying in the wind. Oh, right. The Shinsu like energy is just pushing it. Huh. Damn it. These waves. The spear is too big, so I can't keep balance. Damn it. And we see another angle from above Bam's orb with both thorns out and then covered by the sweet fish, the clash. White looks like he's struggling a little bit, but he's hanging in there. It's no use to try hard. Did you think you would take away my power easily? To a half-wit like you who doesn't even have the goal or will to desire power on your own. I will never let you take my power. And it looks like he went in for like the head smash. He's super close. Do you understand? This is like White's power up moment right here. He's psyching himself up. Huge burst of energy from White's side. Ben looks like he's faltering a little bit. I will swallow you up and ascend even higher. The place I never thought I'd be able to reach after becoming corrupted. Oh my, look at that. White's flexing right now. Bams might be having a bit of a second thought. Dark beyond darkness, where the light is. It's always been White's goal. To the same level as my father. There it is. Then we see some sort of magical circle on the floor. There was a demanding thirst, no matter how much power I devoured from the others. But once I take your power, I will no longer suffer from it. Can we stop there for a moment? If you take Bam's power, I think he's kind of suffering from the same problem, but from a different perspective. I don't think Bam eating Bam up is going to help you at all, buddy. But he doesn't know that, of course. I will be able to escape this torment of endless emptiness. Ooh, let yourself be eaten by me. You are mine. And then Bam's kind of stunned. Why it's pure like Shinsu right now. Very cool. You are my last corruption. And there's that Susanoo looking thing that was shaking his sword before. Is this like White's true form being revealed? It looks kind of like death. There's a huge magic circle above him. I think this is this is real. So White's formed a sort of circle above and potentially around as well. And the giant death Susanoo thing is surrounding them. Now, what on earth is that? That's cool. That guy's so persistent. And then here we go. Rak, still swaying with the javelin. Going on, buddy. Decompress. Nah, he's off balance. Ah. What are you doing, buddy? Here we go. Here we go. Rak's skin is like starting to shape. He's decompressing. I'm going. He blasted off his clothes. They didn't think of that. And then the spear is set to hit the target with 100% accuracy. That's actually so big. All he has to do is put all of his power into it. Doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter about the wind, right? It's guaranteed to hit. That's the perk of the tower. I'm going to throw full power, and then there it is. It's just gone. The next panel. Rak has made the throw. You see a red line going straight in front of Bam towards White. You see the energy kind of blown back a little bit as well, I think. Unless I'm mistaken. White just kind of turns. That's a direct hit to the dough right there. He's turning and it's going straight to the side of his face. Bam. And Khun. Rak. Huge hit. It looks like, at least, onto White. He couldn't dodge it. We just see the red beam going through right now. Oh, it's supposed to hit Rak. It looked like it was going to, but White's like, given that energy form that he was before, he's just been able to like hollow himself out like Smoker from One Piece. His body's just made of the Shinsu energy right now, not an actual body. So it just parts where the spear would have been, but he's still clashing with Bam. I'm not. It doesn't look like it hit him, but if White has converted himself into more of an ethereal form, wouldn't that make him somewhat easier for Bam to absorb? Perfect, right? It might have still done something. White's kind of letting out a yell, of course. Bam. And then Khun says, "Now's the time." And then finally, the power on Bam's hand starts flaring up. You see the black Shinsu coming out of it. Ooh, the power looks like it's flowing out of the sword straight to Bam. And then there's a huge, it's like an inverted flash of light. It's dark, I guess. I know what you call that. The reverse of the explosion from before. A huge crash. And then White, yeah. No, my power. Oh, wait. Oh, no. It's the last member of White that we saw give Bam a power, I believe. That's enough. No, that doesn't make sense. It's one of the siblings, White siblings. That's enough. Is she loosening his grip on the sword? She is. Let it go. And then the sword, he's like fading away into Shinsu, much like the rest of him. And then there's a huge like vacuum effect right around Bam. He's just taking it all in. He's gonna be inside Bam though, like the thrusters are 100%. He's not gone. Bam kind of stunned, but I think he's still taking it in. There's still Shinsu everywhere. The rain is still falling as well. I didn't see that before. Kuhn's like, what's going on? Even Rak, huh? What is going on? Rak still has the energy. He's recompressed, it looks like. And he's got his shirt back. That's kind of handy. And then, wait, Bam's very stunned. White's power? Wait, it's flowing in. It's got it. Are they absorbing it as well? Khun, this is quite. Even Rak. All three of them have like a red flame around them. Are they all absorbing? What is this? I'm being filled with power. Oh, that's a very good way to power it up. But then it looks kind of like, oh, Bam's being knocked back by something. It looks like White still kind of remains, but the clouds part immediately. Bam looks like he's ready to faint. Oh no. Oh, he is. He's fallen over, literally out of the sky. The orb has just disappeared. His wings, the thorns deactivated, falling from the sky. I wonder if Rak's going to get teleported back immediately. Also, it looks like the spear is immediately placed back in the carrier. Bam! Khun immediately dashing forwards. Huh? Did I always feel this light? Khun absolutely launches himself. This is a power for all three of them. I wonder how it split like that. Was that Bam's doing? He didn't want to take it all by himself? Or is it just the nearest people? Is the Descensio get it too? Or Arya? They're close by. So anyway, Khun feels great, of course. Launches himself up straight towards Bam. Going that fast probably isn't good. And then we're immediately back to Yama and Du. Come on. We just finished. We need to know the aftermath. Alright. Yama and Du. There are only a few turns left. They're both stretching. I might become relaxed if I wait any longer. Alright. Shall we go? All the power ups are done. It's time to fight on the rest of the fields. Doom just says, okay. And they both looks like they're getting teleported to the next one. Or the final one, actually. They both step forward. Participant Yama has arrived at the finish line, teleporting to the destination. Then we see a red light and a purple light both fly up for the teleporter. Inside the 5th Army Corps battleship, and the lights just like lead them straight in. Prison, where Yasracha locked himself up. So this was specifically for the game, planned ahead of time, by the way. Okay, and they both land. Very cool. You're here. How foolish of you to throw yourselves into the jaws of the beast, brothers. That cat has never looked more menacing with that face. The more I stare at it. Okay, that's kind of interesting. All right. Pretty good chapter. It seems like the whole white threat has now been wrapped up after so many chapters, like half of the series so far. White is no more, no longer a threat, at least on the outside. We'll read the comments and then have a quick discussion. Red turtle and blue turtle saved the black turtle from the white turtle. In Rak terms, yes. Glad to see Rak and Khun getting powered up so they can catch up to Bam even in the slightest, rather than being left behind. The trio back together again too. Not for long, I'm assuming. Again, if the cat tower works the way that it says it did, Rak was only there for one shot. He's about to go back inside. But yes, it's about time. I'm glad that Khun and Rak also got some of Light's power. The gap between Bam was getting way too wide. Now they can support him even better. I wonder how it's going to work with them. If they absorb someone's essence into themselves, it might not be like a straight up power up. They're gonna have to learn how to use it properly, right? But then again, Kun just does the thing as soon as he's got the power up. It's going to be very interesting. Bam was definitely going to be the one who absorbed the most of it, obviously. But I'm really hoping that White will somehow keep a sense of himself inside of Bam like Chris's do. Because that way he can hit Bam with all the "I told you so's," "you should have done this," and maybe even help him out later on when he's trying to make big decisions. You know how he was talking to the Blue Thrisser and all of that kind of stuff. Very interested to see if this is the last we have seen of Light or if he will return in that kind of form. But yeah, Kun getting power up, Rak getting power up, desperately needed. We need a full grown Rak to come back. Obviously, he was here for like one panel, 2 panels maybe. But yeah, I just really want to see Khun and Rak actually go out and fight. I know right now that they're severely underpowered if you compare them to Bam. Like they cannot match up against many of these opponents. Maybe some of the ones in the Cat Tower that they were competing against, but these ones here, they absolutely do not stand much of a chance. Maybe now with these power ups it'll be a bit different, but yeah, keen to see what they can do, and keen to see them continue their training that they started in the hidden floor. Sorry, but yeah, great chapter. A long arc is finally resolved. It would seem. I wonder if next chapter we're going to get a new like mini title. Instead of a dark twist, it'll be something else now. Seems like the mini arc is over. But yeah, pretty good chapter. I think that's probably about it for me. So we will have solo leveling, which is it really feels like ending soon. But solo leveling will be Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and then One Piece later on in the week. So thank you very much for watching, listening, or reading along, if that is what you do. And catch us in the next one. Laters.